One maritime expert reports that a Chinese ship dubbed as the Monster, otherwise known as the largest Coast Guard ship in the world, went on a brief intrusive patrol in the Panatag or Scarborough Shoal. This with just barely a week to go before China says it will begin arresting trespassers in the disputed waters. Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro has also commented on China's order today, and Julie Baiza has that report.
Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro described as a clear provocation China's recent threat toward its supposed trespassers in the disputed West Philippine Sea. Teodoro says China's order to Chinese Coast Guard is irresponsible as they do not have basis to prove that the West Philippine Sea is their territory.
We live in a world of disinformation and malign information. Is this a provocation? No. I believe what a provocation is the roguish and irresponsible threat to detain quote-unquote trespassers in what is claimed as internal waters but is actually part of the high seas and part of the West Philippine Seas by a country.
The Defense Department notes that although all countries have the freedom of navigation within our exclusive economic zone, China still does not have the right to implement their new policy in the Philippines EEZ. Teodoro adds that China is also seemingly disregarding the United Nations Charter that prohibits countries to use its forces in enforcing their maritime claims. Amid the tensions, the Secretary assures Filipinos that maritime cooperation between the Philippines and other nations continue. He says no other country can dictate to the Philippines how it should defend its own territory.
Terming these cooperative activities with like-minded nations as a containment or a provocation is disinformation and evidence of paranoia of a closed political system. And the ultimate intent is to get what they want by the threat or the use of force. This we cannot allow to continue. This we cannot allow to continue.
Teodoro made these statements as the Philippine Navy celebrates its 126th anniversary today. In the ceremony, Navy personnel who participated in previous resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal were honored. The AFP meanwhile remains tight-lipped on when the next mission will be, especially with the ongoing issues surrounding discussions between a Chinese defense attaché and former AFP Western Command Chief Vice Admiral Alberto Carlos. The Philippine Navy meanwhile denied that this issue has anything to do with why Carlos was relieved from his post. Philippine Navy Flag Officer in Command Vice Admiral Toribio Adasi says he sees nothing wrong with military officials speaking with diplomats, but he admits that they are now more cautious in their discussions with foreign counterparts.
Casual engagements with foreign attachés is but a normal thing in social gatherings, even in the Philippine setting. But things like those are left to the discretion of parties.
While tensions between China and the Philippines are still ongoing, another Chinese vessel, identified as China Coast Guard Vessel 5901, was spotted near Panatag Shoal. American maritime security expert Ray Powell says this is regarded as the largest Coast Guard ship in the entire world. The ship entered Panatag just as China conducted military drills around Taiwan. The Navy refused to comment on how these military drills can impact the Philippines, but says they continue to monitor the Taiwan Strait.
And of course, anything that transpires around us should be watched keenly and observed because it may or may not have an effect on us.
Defense Secretary Teodoro also refused to comment on what is going on in Taiwan, which he described as an internal matter.